Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, we'll tell you everything you need to know about Seth Rollins' latest injury.
And a new creative direction for the Vision. I'm Adam Wilborn.
I'm Andy H. Murray. The H stands for the H at the end of Seth.
Good.
There you go.
This is the news.
All right, let's talk about Rollins, his injury. I made a fart of it, the injury at the beginning.
Well, everyone's reacted like this. Is he injured? Yes.
Yeah. I think that any time after what happened with the cash-in, any time this man gets injured now, people are going to be like,
The boy who cried, ouch.
Yeah, are you sure about that one, Chief? That whole situation was very funny. We covered it over the weeks that it took for it to pan out. Mm-hmm. And the reporting was spot on from day one. It's like they are, Dave Meltzer, to be fair, in The Observer, was like, they're gonna amplify this for they're gonna make a meal of it so that they can make the cash in more dramatic, and that's exactly what happened.
And they were like, we got you, and I was like, no, you didn't.
Yeah. So now I think that everyone looks at Seth Rollins hurting his arm this week as some kind of grand work.
Although if you watch the diving headbutt back, you can see where it happens.
Yeah, exactly. Like he lands and his hand is like this, and it's like, that could get you hurt. I mean, personally, I think the headbutt was one of the sickest things Seth Rollins has ever done.
Yeah, in the words of Shane McMahon, it was sick.
Yeah, it was gangster. It was awesome. I loved it. Like, I'm not even going to lie. But he did get himself hurt, which sucks. Yeah. Now, Fightful Select have a very detailed report on Mr. Rollins here, and I'm going to go through all of the key details, but yeah, there is a lot of it. Apparently, after the match at Crown Jewel, he was seen in a sling. You can see that in our thumbnail today. He took a photo with a fan.
I saw that,
He's eating an ice cream. He's got a sling. He looks absolutely miserable.
Mixed bag.
Yeah, not the best. And it's been speculated internally that he sustained the injury while doing the headbutt. Yeah, no.
I think if you watch it back, you can literally see Triple H as he's putting the belt on him, being like, the arm, brother.
Yeah. How did that go? And he finished the match, obviously. He noted, apparently, that this move would have long-lasting ramifications. So he's going to enter a long-term story with the arm, presumably. But yeah, he broke the fall with his arm, and obviously it was treated as legitimate internally, although it's wrestling, so anything can happen, obviously. Now, Fightful note that much of the details are very speculatory at the moment. There's a shroud of secrecy over the situation. Specific details are being kept very quiet. One source noted that they said this individually, not on WWE's behalf, that an actual arm break would probably be better than a shoulder injury in this case, because he could be back in December from a break.
I saw that. It was a wild statement, but it's not wrong, I suppose.
Like, I don't know anything about anatomy, but yeah.
Bones injuries better than muscle injuries?
Battlestar Galactica.
Indeed.
Exactly. They said, however, they said it would be unlikely that they could avoid a drastic change, apparently. If it was a more serious shoulder injury, that drastic change would be less possible, obviously. He was being very careful while he was filming his segments on Raw yesterday, which was super early.
Yeah, watching that back, he is not moving.
Here in the old uke.
You know me, always gesticulating with my other arm.
I've always had this arm that I just hold like this and keep under my baggy clothing. Apparently, he got a lot of credit for finishing the match after getting hurt.
And getting speared out of his shoes by Bron Breakker, I assume.
Yeah, poor dude, man. Two
and a tsunami.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It washed over him, man. He's like a manic street preacher. But yeah, he did the promo and all of this stuff. He got a bunch of praise for this. Details are a little bit foggy, but people hope backstage that he was cleared for the segment. That because he was cleared for the segment, the injury might not be as bad as feared. Now, he is expected to undergo some further testing this week. Before talking about all of that, how about we talk about all of this? NordVPN, baby. Up to 70% off. 3 months for free. You sign up now. You can be anywhere in the world protecting yourself. And it's convenient when you're a wrestling fan. That's all I'm going to say.
If you're Seth Rollins, you're laid up, you want to watch some iPlayer, check it out, Seth.
He's definitely a fan of Mrs. Brown's Boys, isn't he? Imagine that. He comes in and gives Mrs. Brown a stomp. That'd be gangster.
I'd be
into that.
Jesus.
Yeah. Anyway. Anyway, yeah,
Sorry.
it's twice in 2 weeks we've just shit on Sorry, Ryan, I just swore.
I was literally about to say, at least you didn't swear this time.
Fuck's sake. What do you reckon of all this?
Yeah, I mean, no great surprise. Obviously, it's weird talking about events that happened on Raw and the subsequent fallout because it was actually a time that we could watch it happen in real time.
Live and in the flesh.
Yeah, we watched it on Raw. We watched the immediate reaction online to being like, wow, I assume he's injured.
Yeah.
And yes, this isn't a great surprise from the way he was carrying himself immediately after the move, and then obviously subsequently on Raw and what have you. A really interesting pivot though. Like no one would have called this in terms of like where they could go next. We'll go and get more into the creative direction in a second. But yeah, I do hope, because I think long term, I think most people were pitching a version of Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Now, it's October, it's 6 months away, but as they mentioned, if it was a break, you can generally go, right, bones take this long to heal. As long as he's, all right to put some weight on it or whatever, then he'll be fine within a couple of months. You could maybe target a Royal Rumble return or even before that. Muscle injuries, who knows?
Yeah.
Muscles can atrophy and things like that, and it's an important part of his body, so it could be a real devastating effect in terms of WWE's plans going forward and heading to WrestleMania 42, of course. I hope, like they say, that it is not as serious as previously imagined, and I'm interested to see what happens when he comes back. Is he a babyface now?
I guess he is. He kind of has to be by default, right? Because the big bad monsters are not going to be babyface. Or they could do what Tony Khan did with Andrade's return and Kenny and Kyle Fletcher beating up Kenny Omega and just never follow up on it.
Yeah,
Why not?
Feud with Penta or whatever.
Yeah, I know it's been like 2 weeks. I'm taking this. But lots of possibilities. I guess so much of this will depend on how long he's out for.
Yes.
And we'll probably find out more about that later in the week. What I would do when he comes back is that I would have him come back with a cast and you like Bob Orton use it as a weapon.
Oh yeah.
Right? Even if he's the babyface, he's fighting off two monsters. He needs a sickle to take to their heart.
Do you do the thing, basically a copy of what he did at SummerSlam, i.e., he walked out and then was like, I'm fine. Does he do that with an arm sling? Because it could be quite good for the dog to be like, ha ha ha, I'm going to kill you. And then he'd be like, I'm fine.
Unlucky. What he should do is if you want to seriously dramatize this, and this is after he's healed, right? I'm not saying he should wrestle while injured. Come back with a sling, with a cast on his forearm or whatever, and go, I'm not healed, but I'm ready to kick your ass. I'm gonna beat you up, Bronson Reed. And they have a match, and it's like Bronson Reed dominates because he's only got one arm. But then at one point, Seth cracks him with the thing, so it's like concussive because it's solid.
Yeah.
Right. You could sell that in wrestling, and then he goes and takes it off and just gives him a pedigree or something.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Why not?
It could be in terms of a creative shake-up for WrestleMania. In a way, it might clean things up a bit. You could have someone, I don't know who it might be. Personally, I still want CM Punk to be going after Cody. I think that's their big match that they need to do at next year's WrestleMania.
We'll see what Dwayne thinks about that.
Even though they're on different brands. But who knows? Maybe you just say, right, well, actually, this works quite well. We can take Seth out of the title picture and just have this big feud, if timings work out right, between Seth and Braun at WrestleMania. He's got a legacy of coming back from injuries to get revenge at Mania. And then you have still Sami Zayn win the World Heavyweight title at Mania for me. But interested to see where they go next with this. In terms of creative direction, another great piece of reporting here from Fightful. So obviously we were looking ahead to Survivor Series, and many, myself included, went, well, it's fairly obvious what they're doing on the men's side of things at least. In my opinion, it was always going to be the Vision, probably including Brock Lesnar and all that, versus a team of Roman, Punk, Cena, that sort of thing. That's clearly not happening anymore. No. But I'll just read you what Fightful have reported here.
Austin Theory, he's involved somehow.
Where's he?
What?
When Wrestling Observer reported the plans for Survivor Series War Games, we were told that the lineup was actually just an option. Today, when Fightful followed up, subsequent to the Rollins angle, of course, it was largely dismissed as not being the specific direction.
Yeah.
No
He's injured.
Sorry, Ryan, I had to get one.
Yeah. We're noting at the sources, not shot.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yes. That was obviously as the angle progressed. Fightful were told that was a heavy creative pivot.
Yes.
Fightful Select spoke to a source in WWE that indicated that they'd heard that a Bron Breakker split originally wasn't planned or on the cards until next year, something that Ibu, of course, of Self-Made PW, had heard previously as well, which also isn't a great surprise, but, I mean, I'm kind of becoming a huge fan of pivots in wrestling. Like, what they did with The Rock at WrestleMania 40 was, I think, the greatest pivot of all time.
And actually, I think what they did with The Rock at WrestleMania 41 was an even better pivot. Which wasn't it?
But yeah, if you're I suppose it was nice to have that in the pocket of just like, Seth's injured, what do we do?
Yeah.
Set the dog on him.
Yeah, unleash the dog. Yeah, it's interesting that this would force a pivot. Because they're like, obviously they're going to do testing and stuff, but if someone's only going to be out for like a month, say, why you wouldn't pivot? You would just roll with it. I think it's interesting that...
you could just say, I'm not working War Games, I'm a champion.
Yeah, I'm just going to hide with
I'll set my boys in there.
Yeah, it's easy. You wouldn't pivot for that because it's a really easy fix. Also, crowning like a #1 contender is quite interesting at a time when one of the champions
Weird, innit?
is cooked too. So like that gets like alarms going and makes me think about what's actually going on with this. So I'm always a sucker, right? I think that wrestling is impatient these days. I think that a lot of times things happen too early.
Yeah.
So for me, right, it was a very memorable angle and it was a moment, as people like to say. However, I would have liked this stable to be together for like a year before they did this, personally.
Yeah, I think that would have been the plan, wouldn't it? It would have been like maybe post WrestleMania or something like that. Yeah. Like if he's dropped the title or whatever, Bron's like, why are we following you again?
Yeah. But if Rollins is going to be out for like 6 months, I do get it, obviously. But it would have been nice. A little longer on the stove would have been cool for me.
And in storyline, he did kind of bring it on himself watching it back last night.
He's an asshole, yeah.
He's there like, I don't need anybody. And Bron's like, excuse me?
Yeah.
And then he's like, go on, do the little thing that you do. You do your thing, you silly little dog. Go on. I'm the best I am. Set all the pyro off. And you watch back with the pyro going off. And like, Paul Heyman's there like, look at all this. And says like, I'm a bloody man, I am.
Yeah.
And Bron's like, I'm going to smash you. By
Foreshadowed
the
it very heavily. But then you could have just not done that and just split them later on, you know? But look, the thing is, right, in this era of life, wrestling companies, movies, TV shows are not booking for that a lot of the time. They are booking for quick gratification, right? Netflix, there's a specific edict in certain films that are made for that platform. They are to be made for people who are looking at their phone while watching the movie. It's not made for, like, people's attention spans are dwindling, and this is just how it is these days.
It is nice that when you get certain elements of like stuff that you can take in different to that I mean, it doesn't work as wrestling, like you say. I think sometimes it does. Long-term storytelling does pay off, but yeah, for the most part, like outside of The Traitors, for example, which is a week-to-week show. Granted, you get a couple a week, but like, they never release all of it in one go, and they never go like, it's cliffhanger stuff, but it's never like, and that's why we're going to kill 6 people on tonight's show.
Just a bit more patience. I like a bit more patience. And look, if I was the guy with a pencil, I know it was a memorable angle, for goodness sake. I'm not criticizing the angle, but like if I was the guy, even if Rollins is going to be out for 6 months, I would hold off a bit and just, preserve it a little bit.
And we're all about that, which is why we're going to make you wait to find out the social media megastar that could be wrestling for WWE in the future. We'll be back
can't wait
news later.
I personally cannot wait for this.
I can't wait either. I'm really excited.
Fired up. This is my kind of thing, through and through. Let us know what you think of all this in the comments section below. Check out this video on your screen right now. This is, I mean, look, Ups and Downs isn't coming in its usual slot today. It arrived yesterday, so this is the Ups and Downs video from Raw. Because it was upside down, baby. It was in Australia, baby. Perth, Australia. It's better than Perth, Scotland. All right, bye.
Back later, bye.
Bye.